The Indian government held an all-party meet headed by Prime Minister Modi and his government. We saw people from all opposition parties coming together to meet and discuss the fast escalating regional conflict that's triggered a worldwide crisis. Economically, we're looking at a strain on natural gas, on fuel. And of course, India is bearing the brunt of it. We are still in the initial stages, hoping that the war doesn't worsen or intensify. Then the problem could get out of hand, as per what Prime Minister Modi himself said, saying that we should brace for the worst. Now, the all-party meet was attended. In fact, it was chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and attended by the entire cabinet ministry and also the opposition parties. We also had External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri all in attendance. Opposition is asking a sharp question. Why a briefing was held behind closed doors? Why not a full debate in the parliament though? Nonetheless, we know that all opposition parties attended, but TMC staged a walkout. Rahul Gandhi on his part, there were other representatives of Congress who were part of it, but Rahul Gandhi had prior commitments, so he was in Kerala. He did not attend it. But yet, it was an all-party meeting that concluded with the government, Kiran Rijiju himself saying that all opposition parties are also on board and all of them are ready and prepared to face the challenge that's staring at us. There is a strong possibility that ill effects of this war will last for a long time. This is what Prime Minister Modi had also said in the parliament just days ago. And right after his speech in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, here was an all-party meet that took the opposition parties also in confidence. Now, the government has constituted 7 empowered groups to evolve strategies on how to tackle this crisis of fuel, supply chains and fertilizers, among others, and stem the impact of the Iran-Israel-US conflict. The government has now mandated that cooking gas LPG supply to households will be discontinued if consumers fail to switch to piped natural gas or PNG. Remember, this is literally a warning that the government is given because PNG largely is also manufactured domestically. So, an order rather, that's been issued on March 24th, where the government clearly states that LPG supply shall cease after 3 months if a household does not opt for PNG despite the availability. The provision, however, allows continuation where it is technically infeasible to provide a piped connection subject to a no objection certificate. So this move is aimed at freeing up LPG supplies from areas with pipeline connectivity and diverting them to regions lacking such infrastructure, while also promoting fuel diversification amid this global supply disruption, including damage to the liquefaction facilities in the Gulf and the continued blockage of the Strait of Hormuz. Remember, we're looking at LPG shortage that's staring at India, just like every other part of the world. India, in fact, all the more relies heavily on LPG. And here the government says that it's our bid to push households and commercial users now to switch to piped natural gas, PNG, which is more convenient alternative and is both domestically produced and sourced through diversified supply. PNG is continuously supplied to kitchen burners through pipelines that eliminates the need to book refills. So this is one aspect, and also we see that the government now encouraging people to purchase and use electric vehicles, EVs, increasing the production usage of induction heaters as well as reducing the cost of cookware compatible with induction heaters. So, different ways of preserving electricity, save daytime electricity, whatever you can, however much you can save on your electricity in the daytime. And these are measures that the government hopes that people of India adopt, and this is a push in that direction. But nonetheless, we know anxiety is still building all across the country. We're looking at panic buying of fuel, panic buying of LPG, black market sales. So it is a problem that the government is handling even before the real crisis occurs. In fact, the Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Sujata Sharma, has come out and asked people not to believe in rumors. She adds that 26 states have been accorded 22,000 tons of commercial LPG as of date, and 2.5 lakh new PNG connections have been accorded in the last 25 days. And that she says our refineries are also operating at optimum capacity. India has also, along with countries, just bought, we hear, the first Iran LPG cargo in years. Remember, India had shunned energy purchases from Iran in 2019 under pressure from Western sanctions. But now, with easing sanctions, LPG from Iran is heading to India. Apart from this, 4 other ships have also just arrived. Now, India is also, when it comes to fuel, looking at Russian fuel. We're paying $5 extra per barrel, but we've also accessed fuel from Russia, oil from Russia, which is coming in at the earliest. We are paying a little more, but the government is doing and making all efforts to ensure the shortage is met. Let's take you through reactions coming in on this all-party meet and how India plans to deal with this crisis.
ये कोई प्राथमिकता होनी चाहिए सरकार की। सरकार के पास इस समय ये सब टाइम है करने का। लोग लाइनों में लगे हुए पेट्रोल और डीजल के लिए, इतना पैनिक बाइंग हो रही है। मोदी जी ने एक कचरा स्टेटमेंट दे दिया गैर जिम्मेदाराना। उसके चलते सूरत से लेकर मध्य प्रदेश में लोग हजूम लगा हुआ है पेट्रोल पंप के बाहर। गैस की किल्लत सबको पता है। विश्व में क्या हो रहा है वो हमें अफेक्ट कर रहा है। पाकिस्तान जो है वो शांति दूत बना हुआ है, अमेरिका का सपा सालादार बना हुआ है, और हम उस पूरे कॉन्वर्सेशन में कहीं है ही नहीं। और सरकार के पास ये टाइम है, मतलब सरकार की प्राथमिकताएं दिखाता है, और मैं क्या बोलूं इससे ज़्यादा। जब देश पर इस तरह का संकट है तो आपको कांग्रेस का दफ्तर खाली करने की सूझी हुई है। मतलब ये इन बातों का मतलब क्या है?
मैं सभी पार्टी के नेताओं को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। सबने अटेंड किया और अच्छी तरह से मीटिंग में पार्टिसिपेट किया है। सब पार्टी के नेताओं ने अपने अपने पार्टी की ओर से जानकारी और अपना चिंताएं व्यक्त की, और जो परिस्थिति पश्चिम एशिया में ईरान, इजराइल, अमेरिका के बीच में संघर्ष के वजह से जो उत्पन्न हुआ है, उससे भारत को किस तरीके से प्रभाव पड़ेगा और भारतीय लोगों के लिए सरकार ने क्या क्या कदम उठाया है, इसके बारे में कई सवाल विपक्ष के साथियों ने किया और सरकार की ओर से व्यापक अच्छी तरह से जवाब दिया।
All right, let me quickly bring in our guest joining us for a little more in detail. Sharath Trivedi, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Advocate Arshpreet Khadial, who is the spokesperson of the Congress. Major General Rajan Kochar, strategy and geopolitical expert. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining me here tonight. A quick word as I see, Arshdeep, if I could start with you on the all-party meet, which the government says has gone very well. All opposition parties are on board, and the aim is to ensure that we collectively tackle the crisis that's impending. Crisis is already hit, but worse could come. So the government wants all opposition parties on board to work in tandem and ensure that the aim is to mitigate the crisis as much.
Thank you for the question. One, it's too late, and second, it's too less. The Bharatiya Janata Party's government should have had it as their priority. When the crisis was escalating, right then and there, you should have had a discussion in the parliament. There should have been a proper deliberation that should have been done over this issue so that a robust plan could have been prepared and put into place. But the Bharatiya Janata Party's priority was not that. Mr. Modi was not there at the all-party meeting. Is this how serious the BJP government is? Is this what your priority is? I mean, Mr. Modi, back in the day, just a few days ago, when the elections were announced for 4 states and 1 UT, Mr. Modi was going to each and every election going state. And today, people are having to stand in queues. They're having difficulty get a hold of commercial cylinder, house cylinders. There's shortage of gas everywhere. People are suffering. And Mr. Modi did not even have the time to go to the all-party meeting. Now, see, on one hand, the BJP says it was very important. It had a lot of significance. On the other hand, the Prime Minister does not even attend it. Mr. Modi was absent today. Mr. Modi's been absent for the last 12 years, wherein he should have done a press conference. Not one question taken. When the country was in need of a leader, Mr. Modi was absent there as well. He did not lead the country. He says we are to be Vishwaguru. We happen to be the world's largest democracy, mother of all democracies, but Pakistan happens to be mediating between US and Iran. Israel and Iran. And we really want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party's government. You were silent on this also. When back in the day, head of the state was assassinated without a formal declaration of war, you were quiet. When a head of state, Mr. Maduro, was picked up, you were quiet. When Donald Trump kept saying to the world that he got the ceasefire done between India and Pakistan, you were quiet. When Donald Trump was imposing tariffs on us, you were quiet. When he was getting $500 billion deals from us, you were quiet. I mean, we do everything. Abki Bar Trump Sarkar, Howdy Modi, we do all the friendships. We do everything for the US as in how they like. But Pakistan gets all the favors. Imagine the perception that's being formed. Imagine the message that's being conveyed. Pakistan mediating between the countries, and on the other hand, the Bharatiya Janata Party's government hasn't uttered a word. So we request Mr. Modi, where is the 56-inch chest? Where is the Bharatiya Janata Party's follow-up? Because they have themselves not been able to practice what they have preached back in the day. As of today, you see how the country is suffering with inflation.
Yeah.
You see how the country is suffering with shortage. So problems are at an all-time high. There are no solutions. Back in the day, we had a parliament session ongoing. Yet they did not consider it important enough to have a proper deliberation over this issue so that we could have chalked out a plan. We don't understand why the Bharatiya Janata
What
Party-
plan could we have chalked out if well, I understand that the parliament wasn't addressed, but considering the world facing this crisis, India that way is fairly doing better than a lot of countries. Of course, we'd speak for ourselves, but how do you think the government could have acted better?
First and foremost, the government should not have surrendered to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump said, we are giving you 30 days, go buy your oil, the Bharatiya Janata Party and Mr. Modi should have uttered something. We are a sovereignty. We are the world's largest democracy. And what are you reducing us to by taking permissions from the US, from Donald Trump? On one side, they say Donald Trump ko seriously mat lo. On the other hand, they take orders and directions from Donald Trump. Second of all, we do not understand why the Bharatiya Janata Party is compromised, why Mr. Modi is compromised, why are they trying to prioritize what Donald Trump wants over what India wants, Indians want. So we also want to know it from the BJP. What will you be doing on the 31st day? 30 days you have got. You have requested, you have done all of that, but what would you do on the 31st day? And will the US administration, will Donald Trump dictate from where we'll buy oil? From whom we'll buy oil? How much oil we'll buy? For how long?
Trump
we'll
says
buy?
what he says, but it's not like India has stopped buying oil from Russia. Even before, India still continued what we were doing. Donald Trump can say what he has to say. India does not need
Why
to.
did Mr. Modi not rebut it? Mr. Modi should have rebutted it. He is our head of state. He is our prime minister. He represents 140 crore Indians. He should have said it that we will not take orders from you. He should have said it that we are the world's largest democracy. You will not dictate what is to be done and what is not to be done, what is to be said and what is not to be said.
Saying is not everything, right? I mean, look at the way we've diplomatically handled the country's
Sometimes
crisis
it
as
is
well.
a loss.
We have ships still coming to India. Isn't that something that you want to give credit to?
An Iranian ship came on our invite, was torpedoed while it was going back. Where was the 56-inch chest? Where was the Bharatiya Janata Party's morality? Back in the day, Mr. Modi said, Iran is a friend, Iran is our partner, it is our ally, we'll support each other. Our friendship goes as back as history does. And when their ship was torpedoed while it was going back, not a word uttered by the Bharatiya Janata Party's government. Why did you not show any concern for it? Why did the Bharatiya Janata Party not show any concern and any kind of no action was followed up, no statement was followed up? So we only are trying to understand from Bharatiya Janata Party. Please tell us what your plan of action is. How will you take the country and the citizens out of this problem that you have put us into? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party has no solution to offer at all whatsoever. Today, the reason as to why they had to call an all-party meeting after such a long time, after such a long delay, is because they know that they have no plan of action ready. They know they will have to rely on the opposition's experience. Because when back in the day, Mr. Manmohan Singh used to lead the country, he was the head of state. While he was in America, they had done an intrusion in Iraq. They had attacked Iraq, and Mr. Manmohan Singh back in the day had pointed it out, and he had the audacity to call a spade a spade. He said America is doing a wrong. He said America is making a mistake because we happen to be leading the world. We have to show a direction to the world.
Also stopped
we are not supposed to
taking
be
Iranian oil at that point because Hillary Clinton said so.
Sorry?
Manmohan Singh stopped taking Iranian oil because Hillary Clinton said so at that point.
What? One second. What I'm saying is that when a similar thing was done by the US, Mr. Manmohan Singh called it out. On the other hand, Mr. Modi has only and only offered silence. Deafening silence is all we have gotten. We don't understand the reason behind this silence. Is the personal interest more important than the country's interest? Is the party interest more important than the nation's interest? Is what we want to understand from the BJP regime, because till date, we have only witnessed problem after problem, no solution at all whatsoever. So
All
the
right.
question to the BJP spokesperson is, please tell us what the roadmap is. How will you remedy this situation?
Well, Mr. Sharad Trivedi, please come in on that. Is there a reason to why there's been a delay in addressing the parliament? The opposition asks why an all-party meet behind closed doors. Why was this not thoroughly discussed in the parliament? You're seeing an impending crisis. In fact, the crisis has already trickled down on the ground. Isn't this a little too late and too little?
First of all, it does not look like the opposition feels that the country is under any pressure or we have got any problems at all, because Yuva Neta has skipped the meeting and TMC, which is the second largest party, didn't even bother to attend. I would like to ask my friend that when there was a 10-year Iran-Iraq war and 120 tankers were torpedoed or sunk in the Strait of Hormuz or right outside it, what statement did Indira Gandhi's government and what statement did Rajiv Gandhi's government make at that time? Here, a warship is being sunk in international waters. What statement does is it an Indian warship? Have we done it? Under what law can we make any statement on on two combatants shooting on each other in international waters? And I would like to ask my friend one thing, that as you had already mentioned, that in 2012, when Hillary Clinton said that reduce your supplies from Iran, then they reduced the supplies by 15%. What statement did they make? Forget about making the statement. They said, "Ji huzur, jo aap kahenge, hum karenge." Now we are coming to a very serious problem. I would like again my friend to tell me one country which has had a better performance, which has stuck to the price barrier, including the European Union. They have got a 30% increase in gas charges in European Union. There's a whole tsunami in Southeast Asia. Today itself, the Philippines has reduced the supplies of gas as well as the fuel by almost 60 to 70%. The close friend of Congress party in Pakistan, that echoes the Congress, and Congress echoes the Pakistani statements. In Pakistan, they have reduced the government fuel sale by 60%. They have asked the students to sit at home. They have shut down the education institutions. We have had nothing like that. The government has made a categorical statement that even if the price barrier is up to $120 per barrel, the government is going to stick to the price at the petrol pump. There is no problem as far as the piped gas is concerned. Not the people, because piped gas can neither be stored, nor you can suddenly start eating up, nor you can hoard the piped gas. The problem is with LPG only because the connections, we have got about 85 to 90 lakh. There's been a rise in about 30 lakh extra fillings on a daily basis, when only 55 lakh fillings were done on a daily basis. This is simple panic. Government has imposed ESMA to control this hoarding. There is no problem in pipe gas. You are having pipe gas. My friend is having pipe gas, and our senior defense officer, he is also getting pipe gas. There is no problem. The only problem is when you're hoarding. Tomorrow, if there is a statement, somebody comes out with a rumor that the specs are not being are going to go out of supply, people will start buying sunglasses. People will start buying specs. It is simple rumor mongering. The government is trying to control the situation. We have, despite the tsunami and a veritable earthquake that has happened, even in the Middle East, our prime concern is because all the major combatants are Indian friends. We want peace in West Asia. The second thing is that we have got 1 crore Indian diaspora in West Asia. We want their security. And third is that we want secure fuel supplies and gas supplies. We are getting gas supplies from US. We are getting the gas supplies from Australia, from any alternative source that is available. 7 Russian ships which are on high seas have already reached India. We have had 4 ships from the Gulf coming to India. We never asked for a waiver from America, because permission and waiver is given only when you ask for it. Who asked for the waiver? Because permission is a two-way process. You ask for permission and you get a permission. We never asked for the permission. Even with 25% surplus tariff, we continued to buy the Russian oil. We didn't kowtow the way Hillary Clinton said that if you don't reduce your oil supply from Iran, we are going to, turn the taps on your banking system. There's a veritable surrender of the central government. Modi government is negotiating because all the major combatants are there. We are trying, there is back channel diplomacy is going on. We don't talk about that on the prime time. What role Indian government has got, nobody knows it. But the government is trying desperately to get the things on roll. And we have had every major minister concerned with this problem. We have got a defense minister, home minister, foreign minister, finance minister, petroleum minister, and minister of parliamentary affairs. The opposition is being taken into confidence. When we wanted to talk on the Kisan bill in the parliament, they were dancing on the Rajya Sabha tables. This is a very serious matter. The government, the country is facing a big problem. And when the Congress faced the same problem during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, what they did? The country was reeling under the fuel crisis, the rise of almost 30 to 40% in the fuel price at that time. What the Congress did was that they increased the the excise duty on vehicles, so that people stop buying vehicles and people come on the road. Those who are employed in the production come on the road. This is the best response. The whole world is looking towards India, the kind of response we are giving to this unprecedented crisis. And hopefully this matter is going to come to an end. This is a temporary issue. Even if this war continues, our supplies are coming, but because they're coming from US or from Russia or the far off places, it's going to take time, about 45 days, 30 to 45 days to come from the United States. It's going to take time to come from the Australian, island. So the problem is temporary. It's a serious matter, but the government is putting its best foot forward.
The government says we're doing everything we can. Opposition's work is to criticize, and most importantly, your opposition leader of opposition wasn't even present at the meeting today. If you really thought this was a crisis, then you should have been present.
Why was the Prime Minister not present? Is what we want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party's government. On one hand, if the BJP spokesperson saying that it was a very important meeting that took place, it was paramount, then how would he justify the absence of Mr. Modi? How would he? Please tell us. If it was such an important meeting, why did Mr. Modi quit? Please give us the reason.
All right. Well, my question is, if the Congress was in power, how differently would you have handled a crisis like this? From what we see in experts, analysts suggest that India is on its best footing. We have great equations with all countries around. We don't want to be dragged into the war because we can't survive this. Well, yes, we have been unplanned when it comes to saving energy, or our reserves in terms of energy isn't adequate to the population and its consumption. But that can't happen in 10 years. You can't alone blame the BJP. It should have happened over generations, over at least the last 3 decades, if not for one. So if the Congress was in power today, how different would you do this? How different would you tackle this situation?
Well, number one, see, we cannot mitigate the blunders that have been caused by the Bharatiya Janata Party's government by saying that it's not been done in the last 10 years, it's not been done in the last 12 years. The Bharatiya Janata Party had promised us Achhe Din. The Bharatiya Janata Party had promised us that we'll be Vishwa Guru. The Bharatiya Janata Party had said that the value of rupee against a dollar would be better, would be much better than what it is today. But look at all the promises that he had made back in the day. Talk of inflation at an all-time high. Talk of dependence at an all-time high. Talk of, now that, the entire issue has raked up, the Bharatiya Janata Party has no answers to the questions that how will we manage the demand that is coming. People are standing in queues. People are requesting the government to help them out, to listen to them, to listen to their grievances and address them, remedy them. But the Bharatiya Janata Party turns a blind eye to it. Now, due to the dependence over the crude oil, which is over 85%, there will be inflation with regards to diesel, petrol, inflation with regards to oil, with regards to silver, gold, etc. So the Bharatiya Janata Party, instead of offering a solution, has only been dodging, diverting, and deflecting. And today also, if the Bharatiya Janata Party was really serious about the meeting that took place, then Mr. Modi should have been the first one to be there. Mr. Modi should have led, but Mr. Modi was absent instead. So all we are trying to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party is that if you do not have a plan of action, if you have caused blunders and failures, then you should cut a sorry figure and you should take accountability. Answerability ought to be fixed, especially of Mr. Modi, because time and time again we have heard him being big on words but very short on action. Now the fact of the matter is that we want to ask the BJP government, what took you so long in or to have a meeting, and that too an all-party meeting? Why did you not do it before? Number one. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party ought to tell us as to why Mr. Modi was absent from the all-important all-party meeting. Number three, is it not important for Mr. Modi because time and time again, when the countries needed him the most, when Indians have needed him the most, Mr. Modi has always shown his back. Mr. Modi, back in the day, went to Pakistan also. He had Kashmiri chai, biryani, broke all protocols, went there unannounced. And today, when we talk of Pakistan mediating the war and basically trying to resolve the issue, and it is hosting them. I mean, out of all the countries, Pakistan is hosting them, is trying to mediate between the countries. And while we are just looking, while we are just mute spectators,
All
this
right.
should. I mean, what are we not saying that Pakistan sponsors terrorism? If that is what we have said, then should that country be mediating between those countries? Should Pakistan have gotten the opportunity to mediate here? I mean,
All
the
right.
Bharatiya
You know,
Janata Party has nothing
I
to say.
definitely want to bring in Major General Rajan Kochar here, and I thank you, sir, for patiently waiting. I wanted to get done with the political side of it because I didn't want to involve you there. But I appreciate you waited patiently. Well, the Congress spokesperson here says that Pakistan is mediating and we aren't doing much. What do you think India could have done here?
Well, thank you, Nabila. I won't take much time because I have another program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, 30 minutes I waited.
My apologies.
And I've listened to all those discussions. So what has been the takeaway in the last 30 minutes? I've not been able to understand. We have done this program to get certain takeaways for our viewers. And I have been listening to both the speakers for the last 30 minutes. I have not taken any takeaway from the discussion, except for defending and accusing each other. See, I'll just sum up my statement of this discussion. I will not go long into everything.
Yeah.
The whole of the nation approach is required today. You must forget who's Congress, who is BJP at this point of time, because this is a challenge. It's like when we are facing an enemy, you see on the border, we cannot be saying that this decision was correct and that decision was not correct. What happened 30 years back, does not concern us any longer. All these things are irrelevant today because the challenge which is in front of us has to be confronted. What are the methods now to tackle this problem? Does the opposition has any suggestion to give to the government that how do we go about? Or what are the alternative sources of supply? Or is the government not doing enough? Is the government sitting on his haunches and is not doing anything to ensure that this problem gets sorted out? So all these are the questions in front of us, and I've been part of this process of the covering this war right from the beginning, and it's not a problem which is restricted to India alone. It's a world problem. The whole world is affected. Countries like Japan, 85% of the dependence on the Gulf region. Japan is affected, China is affected. So I think a larger your concern is lessons to be learned. After this entire episode, the government needs to put its act together. The first lesson to be learned is, do we have adequate storage facility available? Because we talk about 74 days reserves as far as petroleum is concerned, crude oil, and we talk about 21 days reserves as far as gas is concerned. For a country of our size, do you think these reserves are enough? And I think that's a point to be debated upon, that how do we go about increasing the reserves? Because this problem will occur again and again, because we have gone back to say that in the Yom Kippur War, this problem came up. At that point of time, this problem came up. Gulf War, 1980s, again, this problem came up. Yes, it is coming up again and again. But what have we done about it as a nation?
Tell us about Pakistan mediating here, Major General. Pakistan being the mediator here, how does that board with India? I mean, how should it board with India?
What's the great deal? I'll just tell you why Pakistan has got into this mediation thing. Because it was Shahbaz Sharif who gave the offer to Trump first. It was not Trump who's asked for Pakistan to mediate. A problem in Pakistan is very badly affected. Pakistan wants to stop this war. And secondly, 910 kilometers of the Pakistan border is with Iran. The high stakes as far as, because if this war goes on, there will be an influx of refugees also into Pakistan. Can Pakistan hold on to this? A third aspect is the defense pact with Saudi Arabia. Because in case a war is there, Pakistan will be compelled to send its army to Saudi Arabia to fight the war. Does Pakistan want it? So Pakistan is in a catch-22 situation, and that is why Pakistan has jumped up now, because it wants to lick America at every step, and it wants to be part of the peace process. And Donald Trump will, of course, say yes. Why should he say no?
And Iran has outrightly dismissed any bid.
Yes. And the larger point is that Iran is not interested in any kind of negotiation. And I think it is good that India has kept itself out of it. Otherwise, it would have been a loss of face for India also, which Pakistan is facing today.
What is loss of face? Is that something that we got to worry when we don't have basic LPG cooking gas? Our kitchens are affected. Is there loss of face or loss of livelihood we should focus on?
You see, no. It is not India. It is Pakistan's loss of faith. What I'm trying to tell you is, because India should be more concerned to tackle its own situation as of now, rather than getting into the mediation role and wasting your time. Because the situation of a mediator has to be accepted by all. And the kind of relations we have with Iran, we don't have those close relations with Iran that we can be accepted as a mediator as far as Iran is concerned. So being a Muslim country, Pakistan has got better credentials to get into this, and it is not only
Pakistan. Think about it, General Kocher. I feel India has got a lot of strength and power because of the consumption that we boast of. I don't know if it's something that we should glorify, but we are a big purchaser of oil, and Iran can't ignore us. They can ignore Pakistan. Pakistan is certainly a terror state. They can ignore Pakistan. They cannot ignore India. And India has fairly good relations with Iran as well.
No, you see.
And also Trump has spoken to Prime Minister Modi.
No, this is a debatable point. I don't entirely agree with you that India has got very good relations with Iran, because what we have seen in the last 1 month or so does not suggest that. We have.
How are Indian ships being allowed through the Strait of Hormuz?
It is, you see, only 2 ships. What about your 20 ships which are struck there? And Minister of Affairs, External Affairs is making a statement that we have to go on a case-to-case basis. Why should we go on a case-to-case basis, you tell me? When China has been actually given open access.
So you're saying that Iran is not being generous with India?
Yes, I am very, very firm in my conviction to say that is that, because when you tend to take sides, when you keep silent on many aspects, obviously you are sending a message, and that message is not being received very favorably as far as Iran is concerned. So I make my assessments not because of political statements. I make my assessment based on ground realities, and we must learn to call a spade a spade.
So in a nutshell, what I understand is that you're saying India should take a harder stand.
Harder stand in what way?
When you're saying that we are silent and that sends out a statement, you're saying, is that statement a good statement, or is it impacting us negatively?
No, see,
silence is good right now or not?
No, silence is not good, because you need to also, once you are condemning strikes on the energy facilities in the Gulf countries, once you are condemning strikes on the energy facilities in Israel, why are you not condemning the strike on the energy facilities in Iran? My question is, why are you being discriminatory in your approach here? Because this kind of a discrimination is very, very visible. Nabila, many may not like what I'm saying, but I am just telling a fact. And what I have observed in the last about a month and a half, that we need to have a more balanced foreign policy, because in the times like this, we need everybody as a friend.
But I see, I don't know, I'm probably not privy to the years gone by, but from whatever I see of the Modi government today, I mean, whatever critics have to say aside of that, I feel that we are as balanced as can be. What more can India do? We have got to look at our consumption activity, cater to that problem at hand, instead of, poking our nose into the war and getting dragged into it, because that's a big risk. So our priority should be a people of India, and I don't think perception or saving face should be what we should care for at this point.
No, it's not a question of saving face. It is a question that when you have dependencies, you cannot roar like a lion. Let me tell you that, because when you have dependencies of this nature, when you are dependent on countries like the United States, largest export partner or importing partner as far as India is concerned, you cannot possibly react to every statement what President Trump speaks. So, because you are dependent on various things, like, I mean, tell you for defense also, technology also, we are dependent on the United States, and that is why at times we have to lump it. See, a day will come, yes, a day will come when you will become like Atmanirbhar Bharat, so when you will not have those kind of critical dependencies on this nation. Look at the jet engine program. 180 engines have been contracted on the United States, only 3 have been received. Tejas project is on the verge of being shelved. So, you see, all these concerns are there in our country today. Let's not get into political kind of a debate. But what is important is that we need to understand our own dependencies.
All right. I really appreciate all three of you. That's all I have time for. I apologize. But thank you very much. It's given us perspective as to where this war is headed, how India should be, and what are our priorities. Thanks very much, sir. But for our audience here, a quick look at where this war stands 4 weeks later. We're looking at escalation that continues on one hand, but also we're seeing some diplomatic voices getting louder. America, of course, at this point is looking to find truce. They, as a country, are looking for ceasefire first. America is not just asking Iran to stop fighting, but it's also asking Iran to fundamentally change how it behaves. So from what we see here, America wants ceasefire, but doesn't seem like Iran at this point is giving in easily. So America has asked Iran to adhere to a 15-point proposal. I'm going to read out some of the demands that America has given to Iran, saying you adhere to these 15 points and then we'll stop the war, we'll stop bombing you. So some of those are that Iran should ease the Strait of Hormuz, that all its proxy networks, immediate cessation of all funding and arms given to groups like the Hezbollah and the Houthis, on nuclear disarmament, which has been the main contention. US says Iran must completely roll back its nuclear program, including the decommissioning of the Natanz and Isfahan and Fordo facilities, and also oversight, full unrestricted monitoring of all military and nuclear sites by the International Atomic Energy Agency. This is basically what the US wants. I'm just reading some of the 15 points. Now, to that, Iran has responded. Iran has, first of all, dismissed all negotiation with the United States, saying that US is disconnected from reality. We are not having any conversation with the United States. In fact, they're trying to negotiate with themselves, it looks like. And on its part, Iran has given 5 demands in return to the United States to end this war. Iran says, we will stop this war if you give us sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. International recognition of the Strait of Hormuz as Iranian sovereign territory. That's what Iran wants. Including the legal right to collect a transit fee. Imagine. Iran also says we want war reparations, payment of significant financial compensation for damages caused by US and Israeli strikes during the conflict. And also Iran says no non-aggression guarantees, that from now on, if you want this war to stop, henceforth you shouldn't be attacking us or any of our groups, any groups associated or affiliated with us. Legally binding concrete guarantees that neither the US nor the Israel will carry out any future assassinations or military strikes on Iranian soil. This is what Iran wants. And also end to all fronts, a comprehensive ceasefire that includes an end to operations against all resistance groups in the region, including the Hezbollahs and Houthis. This is what Iran has said in return. And also unconditional sanctions relief, that immediate removal of all economic sanctions on Iran must happen if the war should end. So US has made a 15-point proposal, to which Iran has responded with 5 points, saying, you do this, we are not going to listen to you, you do this, what we are asking, and we will end this war. Well, this is the status of this war in week 4.